Sports news now. The national under-23 team this evening got their campaign at the under-23 African Cup of Nations in Senegal to a good start with a 3-2 win over Junior Eagles of Mali in a 5-goal thriller. Tunisia-based Junior Ajayi netted a brace with Usman Mohammed was on target for Dream Team 6 in the first half. The Malians, however, dominated the second half, firing 2 quick goals in 10 minutes. The under-23 team, however, held on to pick their first 3 points. Nigeria leads Group B with 3 points, while group opponents Egypt and Algeria have a point each. The Dream Team 6 will face Egypt in their next game on Wednesday. Tottenham earlier today kept their unbeaten run but missed the chance to go fourth with a goalless draw against Chelsea. The point saw Chelsea move up to a place to 14th in the Premier League. Arsenal missed the chance to draw levels on points with Manchester City at the top of the table with Louis Gaban's equaliser and a point for Norwich. Jurgen Klopp picked up his first league win at Anfield as James Milner's second half penalty gave Liverpool the point in a stale game against Swansea. World number 2 Andy Murray today led Great Britain to their first Davis Cup triumph since 1936 after defeating Belgium's David Goffin to clinch the decisive point in Ghent. Murray headed into today's final leading 2-1 after he and his brother Jamie secured a crucial win in the doubles on Saturday, with Leon Smith's team counting on the world number 2 to secure a famous win. Murray did deliver in emphatic fashion, winning 6-3, 7-5, 6-3, despite the dogged resistance from a fiercely determined Goffin to clinch an 11th personal victory in this year's competition and Britain's first Davis Cup title in 79 years.
Central 6-3, 7-5, 6-3.
Yeah, it feels amazing. I mean, I never thought we would have the opportunity to do this, and I can't believe we did it. It's unbelievably tough year. You know, won some big matches, and you know, I think everyone that's played has played an unbelievably high level. We've had chances in almost every single match that we've played, and yeah, I can't believe we did it.
And how about
New heavyweight champion Tyson Fury claims the world only got to see around 65% of his ability as he dethroned former heavyweight champion Vladimir Klitschko in Germany. The 27-year-old scored a unanimous points decision over the Ukrainian, who had been undefeated in over a decade, and says that he could have gone to 15 rounds with ease. The fight had been preceded with some tough talks by Fury, but the Brits showed humility following the fight. In the meantime, Klitschko insists that he wants a rematch after losing his World Heavyweight Championship. Klitschko confirmed after the fight that a rematch clause exists and he plans to exercise his rights to a second bout.
It was a good night, not a good night for me to win this fight. I wish there will be more clean shots that I could land. I couldn't find the right distance and land those shots. Tyson was quick with his hands and his body movement and his head movement. I couldn't land the right punches. I congratulate him tonight. He won the fight, and to be continued.
The Basilica in Onitsha, Anambra State, came alive today as priests, dignitaries and the laity from around the world came to celebrate the first Nigerian Cardinal, Francis Cardinal Arinze, who has spent 20 years as a bishop and 30 years as a cardinal in the Roman Catholic ministry. Consecrated in 1985, Cardinal Arinze has been described as a clergyman with great humility and dedicated to the ministry, being the first Nigerian to hold the papal office.
Franciscus, the Supreme Pontiff.
Pope Francis says that he hopes that next month's polls in the Central African Republic will open a new chapter for the country. The Pope was speaking after arriving in the capital Bangui, and it is, of course, the Pope's first visit to a conflict zone. The Central African Republic has been torn apart by violence between Muslim rebels and Christian militias. In an address at the presidential palace, Pope Francis called for unity. He admonished the people to avoid the ethnic, religious and political hostility. Acting President Catherine Samba-Panza has asked him for forgiveness for the country's recent religious violence. During the visit, the Pontiff will celebrate Mass in Bangui, but is also expected to meet Muslim leaders and visit a mosque in the city's Muslim enclave known as PK5. There have been thousands of protests worldwide to demand action to stop climate change on the eve of the United Nations Global Summit in Paris. However, demonstrations in the French capital were marred by violence, where police fired tear gas to disperse a large group of protesters gathered in the Place de la République. They were apparently protesting against the state of emergency in France, and organizers of the main protests have dissociated themselves from the group. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari has solicited global support to end terrorism as the December deadline to defeat Boko Haram draws closer. The president made the call at the Commonwealth Heads of Governments meeting in Malta, saying that African leaders must join forces to defeat international terrorism. And less than a week to the Bayelsa State governorship elections, and the key contestants, Governor Siraki Dixon and Chief Timothy Silva, have embarked on final campaigns. And British boxer Tyson Fury has shocked the boxing world, beating Vladimir Klitschko to become world heavyweight champion. And that's a wrap on the news at 10 tonight. I want to thank you so much indeed for being a part of it. I'm Gimba Omar. Have a splendid week ahead. Good night.